welcome back. Bet you didn't expect to see me here. Well, maybe you did, I don't know. We have been in beta 1.5 a long time, therefore, I just realised we use spruce wood here against oak wood, which doesn't look amazing, but I'll let that slide. Yeah, it's time to move to beta 1.6. This is episode 138 of my journey series, although this is my journal world, for those interested. Let's have a look. Beta 1.6. So there wasn't that much added, but probably more than in some past updates. As you can see, we've got a map here. Maps were added. They're one of those features that there are uses for them, uses beyond what you first perceive, and that's what's good about Minecraft. One of the uses for maps beyond what you first perceive, because obviously, what does the map do? Well, it shows you where things are, that's fair enough, but you can also use it for things like, a notice board. I've seen maps being used as notice boards before, and that's just an example of how diverse the game is and how much depth it has. Things are added, but they don't just have one function, they can have multiple functions. So yeah, maps were one thing. I don't think we'll make too much use of it, to be honest, in my journey world, but you never know. Dead bushes and tall grass was also added. Now, I did mention last episode, or 2 episodes ago, that I think the bug where more diamonds or ores spawned in one quadrant compared to others was changed, or less if it's the neg quadrant. Basically, what tall grass allows me to do is identify what chunks are 1.6 chunks and what ones are 1.5. For example, if I see grass, it's 1.6. If I don't see the grass, I've been there before, it's 1.5. Very, very straightforward, very simple. Same goes for dead bushes, which of course do not drop sticks in this version. That was added in 1.9 in the full release. We've also got trapdoors, which is useful because I was actually kind of thinking the other day, I wish I could add some glowstone with trapdoors. Well, we can do just that. And then there's also fern. I didn't actually see fern in the patch notes, but for some reason I've included it here, so it must have been added. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but it's there. So yeah, beta 1.6, let's jump right into it. So here we are in the new version. Hope you enjoyed that little bit of an intro to one of yours. I totally didn't realise that beds didn't actually blow up in previous updates, or I think I did, but I thought that was added earlier. But apparently it was added in beta 1.6, and yeah, I just thought I would check out what it was like in 1.5, where you couldn't sleep in beds, nothing would happen, but Notch added a little perk for beds in the nether, which again, in my opinion, highlights the depth this game has. So yeah, we're in, as you can see, top left. Oh, wait, you can't see top left. Now you can. Beta 1.6.6 is the version we're in. There was 6. Wait, 6? Is that it? There was actually 7 development versions, it looks like, because they counted beta 1.6 as one, and then they did beta 1.6.1. I guess that's what they usually do, don't they? Because there was, there was 1.13.1 and then 1.13.2, and at the minute 1.14.1 is out, and then 1.14.2 is coming out. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. Anyway, I remember when 1.10 was coming out, or it was 1.9, then it was going to 1.10, and everyone was like, oh, they're going to have to go to 2.0. It's like, it doesn't, 1.10 doesn't mean the same as it does in the decimal system. Anyway, that's another matter. I just find that kind of funny at the time. But yeah, we're beta 1.6.6, and yeah, there's a lot added, more than I first thought. One thing that was added is you can now shift click stuff to your hotbar, which is nice. Also, you can shift click stuff from crafting, I believe. Let's try and craft some trapdoors. Yep, there you go. Although there is a difference in modern versions. When you shift click the crafting window, it crafts everything, but here you've got to spam it, and it only does 1 craft per click, so it's more like it was. Look at the glowstone. The glowstone looks a lot more different. Now, I did read in the patch notes that glowstone had changed, And now you can't just punch it. Oh, I really want to try though. The good news is the crafting recipe has changed as well, so it might be worth going and picking some up. But basically, glowstone no longer gives you just one. It gives you multiple, I think. But it only takes 4 to craft as well, which is nice. Same with string and wool. Wool and string, it only takes 4 to craft wool from string. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, let's break some with our hand and we'll see if it drops anything. Now, it did take a lot longer to dig. And as you can see, it didn't drop anything. So, yeah, I would get 4 back. Do you get 4 back every time? No, you only get 4 back on some occasions. But there you go. So, that is a few features there we've just covered. Not bad. Let's pop that back in. The wood looks like it's had a bit of a texture change. Same with the cobble. It looks very, very different. Oh, has the cobble actually changed? No, it's the same. It's exactly the same. It just looks different in the chests. Hang on a minute. Let's where is it? GUI. I'm not sure if that looks different or not. It does to me. Right, small GUI challenge. Let's go. Haha, no, I'm just joking. Right, let's get it back to normal. What about furnaces? What do they look like in the chests? They almost look different as well, I think. Gravel? The gravel texture changed at some point. Where's my gravel? There it is. Is that the same? Yep, that's the same. I'm sure I would have seen it in the patch notes, but clearly I did. Things just look different in chests for some reason. I think it did say that the inventory would be lighter or something. Like, things would no longer appear dark or whatever. Things still go behind other things, though. It's no longer... Or it's still not the case that the thing you're carrying it goes on top. So look at this. The slime balls go underneath the crafting table. But yeah, things are a lot lighter. I think that's what the change was. Buttons look different. Everything looks different. Right. Where should we begin? Well, we should probably begin by going to pick up some of our items. Clearly the jingle's still working. Hey, look at all this. So much stuff. Does this work? Nah, this is actually done now. Yeah, this water ladder is actually... It still worked last update. Like, you had to position your character in a certain way and press a certain button and it would work. But it doesn't work. That's it. Water ladders are now defunct. Does that mean that you can no longer burn yourself through the corner? So I don't tend to have a look at the bug fixes, but obviously bug fixes are like important for various things that we've built in this world. So I don't like building too much off of bugs, but you know, once in a while it slips my mind that, oh wait, this is a bug. Probably won't work at some point in future. Let's just fill all this up. We'll keep some food on us. I always forget to leave some food. But yeah, does this still burn us? Yeah, it doesn't seem to work anymore. You can no longer... Oh wait, hang on. We could maybe pour water. Yeah, it no longer works. So the trick where you can swim in water or burn yourself in water no longer works. It's out the game. TTFN, Tata for now, or Tata for good. TTFN... Oh wait, no, TTFG. Tata for good. Right. The other thing I was going to test... Oh yeah, the rail tracks apparently have changed because the booster glitch no longer works. We'll go and test that in a moment. But apparently this makes you go even faster, I think. It seems like it slows down more. I don't see a difference. Alright, well let's head and see what the booster glitches are like. I also want to work on the museum today. The patch museum, and work on 2 rooms, namely the 1.5, beta 1.5 and beta 1.6. So as we go along here, I'm just going to have a look through things that I might not have mentioned. Seeds can be found through grass, that's obvious, everyone knew that. But did you know that as soon as that change was made, you could no longer get them from tilling the ground? So there you go, just in case you were wondering. Maps, yeah, maps were added, we all knew that. There's new server settings, which is interesting for myself, because obviously Thanks to Spods, I now use servers occasionally for third-person animations, or time-lapses, or whatever you call them. One change that has been mentioned is that the game now supports more than 15 different music discs, but that doesn't mean more discs have been added, it just means it supports more. So yeah, that's worth noting. Also, if you remember in episode 105, we're still in my demo world, we burned down an entire forest. Don't think you can do that anymore, because apparently fire spread has been reduced. Oh, rubbish. Rubbish, there's no minecarts. We need to go and get some minecarts. I wonder if all the minecarts have just been deleted for no discernible reason. Here's an interesting change. Water below a layer of source blocks no longer behaves like source blocks. Does that indicate that my idea for a squid farm isn't going to work anymore? Could it have worked had we been more diligent? Because the idea was that the downward flowing water would cause squid to spawn, but will that no longer be the case? By the sounds of things, yes, that is no longer the case, but we'll just have to wait and see. Time will tell. Any more? There's not too much more. Alright, here we go. Booster glitches. How does it look? Yeah, it doesn't work. As you saw there. In fact, I got damaged. Oh, hey, come back. So, incidentally, the minecart was able to be accelerated all the way down this hallway from the very beginning. It was only once it got here that it ran into issues. So, interesting stuff. But yeah, as you can see, the booster glitch no longer works. Can you still affect it? You can possibly still affect the minecart from a different block, but yeah, the two don't interact. So yeah, that's probably still fondly remembered by many a Minecraft player. But yeah, beta 1.6 was where it met its end. It says the lighting on block icons in the inventory has been changed to appear brighter, so that's possibly why things appear differently. And I thought that was the case because there was a few versions of the game, for example beta 1.7.3, where things appear different, so maybe it was nerfed in future, or maybe we just got used to either one. There's an interesting change that says compressed network trafficking more aggressively, so yeah, that's obviously to help servers run smoothly, I guess. Beta 1.6.1 only introduced a single bug fix, as did beta 1.6.2. Oh, it fixed a duplication bug. Should we downgrade and duplicate diamonds? Nah, I'm just kidding. 1.6.3, there's a spider. That doesn't surprise me, I never went caving around here that much. Here's an interesting change. Beta 1.6.3, if you jump into too deep water now, it no longer stops you from taking fall damage. And that was interesting because I knew from the, long ago, I knew that if you jumped into one deep water it didn't work. That was guaranteed. I remember, oh look, our squid friend's still here. I remember a Minecraft episode where Team Canada were doing a mushroom prank, and they were jumping off and they had to make the water a certain depth, and they made it more than 2 blocks. There's our pet wolves. They're having a good time. Yeah, so they had to make it more than, oh, what was it? It was like 2 or 3 blocks. And that confused me because I survived drops into 2 deep water in past versions of the game, but clearly this is where it changed in this version, was on beta 1.6.3, I think it is. You know, so now you do need to have deeper water, so that's something we've got to watch out for. How many blocks do we need to add in this one? The 2 rails, the 2 saplings. Darn it, I've forgotten how many items we need to add. Well, I know how many we need to add in here. We can't pick up grass. We can't pick up dead bushes. We can pick up trapdoors though. Yeah, okay, there's about 1 item we can add here. Fern. I don't even know if fern was added. We should go and have a look, see if we can find a Tygia biome. Go to that place we were at a few episodes ago. Anyway, I'm going to spend some time digging out these rooms. So I think in this room we only need to add 2 things. I'm going to add a map because we can't add any of the other blocks. So yeah, we'll add trapdoor, which we've got, and then a map and a chest. Here, I still can't remember. I'm thinking back to... Oh, cobweb. That was the other thing, but we can't add that. Do you know what? next time, I was going to do this, but next time I'm in multiplayer, I'm going to do the /give command and try and get a cobweb, because I think that'd be funny. Yeah, I need to remember to do that. Not sure when I'm next going to do a time lapse. Depends on what we do next episode. I'm planning to get to work on the main castle area of the city next episode, but that could all change depending on what we figure out. Mushrooms also spread, by the way, in this version, so mushroom farms are technically possible, but they do spread slowly, more slowly than they would in future versions. I think it was beta 1.7 where they were increased, their spreading was increased drastically. So yeah. Also, there was a rule. I don't think there was any rules governing how and where the spreading could occur. So these days, if there's 5 mushrooms in a certain area, no more will grow, basically. But in these days, I don't think those rules existed. So yeah, interesting stuff. Could be interesting to spread a bunch around. Okay, so as you can see, there is a slight issue, and this issue manifests itself in an even bigger way. We can show that off. Oh, almost drowned there. We can show that off if we go up here, because as you can see, that is no longer going to work. So you saw I was stuck at the bottom of the water there. Downward flowing water, I should add. Basically, the change that said water source blocks below source blocks no longer act as if they were source blocks basically means it's downward flowing water, and therefore it's not going to propel either the player or a boat or anything upward. And so yeah, that thing's basically defunct. You can thank beta 1.6 for removing this feature from the game. I mean, we could fix it. All we'd have to do is just place water in every single block there, which I mean, as tempting as it is, I'm not overly interested at the moment, but we'll maybe in future. Now it's time to do what we always do. Try to take over. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, right, let's fill these out. Oh wait, what side's what? This is beta 1.6, because the one next to it was beta 1.4, and this is beta 1.5 over here. And I did it right, yeah. I thought I just typed 1.6, but obviously that would not be true. Beta 1.5. There we go. Now as you can see, the done sign is behind the sign. The done button is behind the sign. Another thing that I probably pointed out in the past, but if you click on single player, click on create new world, the create new world thing, the title is below your world name. It's funny how it lines up perfectly there. I mean, I'm presuming if I was to... Oh, wrong one. Presuming if I was to change my GUI to large, it would work. Not really. I'm guessing auto's the only one it works on. Let's see. What do we go on? Oh, I'm totally blurring that out. That's the IP to my server. Create a new world. Yeah, so it works on auto. What does it look like on small? Yes, all the way down there. I mean, that looks better than what it does on normal and large. Anyway, so time to stick everything into the museum. Of course, we're not going to put cobwebs in because, you know, technically you can't get them. And the whole idea behind this one, contrary to my journal world, is only to add stuff that you can actually obtain. So, actually, let's add dirt for the saplings. So put down birch sapling there and spruce sapling there, and then we're going to have a double slab because of the fact we're using tracks. Brilliant. Let's get rid of that, and we're done. Sorted. And we're out of here. Brilliant. Can you just add a trapdoor onto half slab like that? Does that work? Oh, okay, you can do that. Brilliant. First time using a trapdoor. First time standing on a trapdoor. Not bad. I don't tend to use trapdoors too much for like functionality. Sometimes, but not normally. Although I'm sure there's some cool things you can do with them redstone wise in these early versions, because, well, for starters, pistons still don't exist. So that's interesting. Might give them a bit of function there. We're going to add a map because there's nothing else to add in that update. We can't really add grass or anything like that. Technically we can make spots and then add it later, but that kind of bends the rules of the patch museum slightly. I'm not rigidly sticking to the rules, but it's just to make it a bit different from my journal world. So to make a map, it's been so long. I think you need 4 compasses. Wait, do you need 4 compasses? Or is it just 1? I think you need to surround a compass in loads of paper, so we'll try that. I'm sure it's just 1 compass. Surely it can't be any more. Hey, there we go, right. So we'll just make the map of this area. So I think these were a lot different to how they are now, so it'll be interesting to look at. Yeah, so it only generates a really, really small part. Should we totally try and fill it all? We totally should. Oh, I can't face spending an entire episode just trying to fill this up. Let's go into our house. I wonder how far north it goes. So I'm presuming it just generates, well, obviously it just generates what's on the surface, but I'm presuming it generates even when we're underground. Yeah, look at this. The lighting changes so much on it based on the light level, I'm presuming. So we're coming to a substantial area of water. I'm presuming that's the artificial water up ahead. I don't mind making the map here because, like, I don't intend to change that much around here. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 things, but I usually just leave things the way they are. It's like I'm playing Pokemon Go and not looking where I'm going, and I'm going to like crash into a lamppost or something. Yeah, look at this. So these days, when you make a map, let's take a boat. Why not? Oh yeah, that's something I haven't fixed. I never fixed the boat dispenser. I mean, I did use it a lot, but it's just bust. It's absolutely bust, and it won't function in the way it was supposed to. But I mean, I've pretty much just given up on it by now. Where was I? Oh, I wonder if it'll reach the... oh, ouch. I wonder if it'll reach the statues. It should do. At the rate it's going, it surely should reach the statues. I think that'd be cool to get them on the same map. Where was I? Yeah, so in modern versions, the map generates a lot more zoomed in, and then you've got to zoom it out manually. Yeah, it does reach the statues. That's pretty cool. They probably only show up as a few pixels. Still though, not too shabby. Not too shabby, Alonso. So where's the edge of the map? You're off the edge of the map, mate. Where does it go? I'm pretty sure you can't copy maps anymore. Or not anymore, but at any point. Yep, here we go. So this is the edge of the map. So I noticed in this version it doesn't actually show when you're off the edge of the map. Well, it does, but it just doesn't show you on the map at all. Like, in modern versions, it would have like a wee dot up here to indicate that you were to the north of the map. So yeah, I'm presuming this is north because that... oh, look at that! Look at the way my hand is! Why is it like that? Was it always like that? That's very strange. Slightly off-putting. Right, let's go right. Or left. Depending on what way you're facing. And we're going to go and fill this out. This could take a while. So, was that time well spent? Not really, but we got ourselves a full map out of it. Let's stand under the light. I really do like this this feature of how it goes dark and then light and all that, depending on where you're standing. Maybe it does that in modern versions and I've just never noticed it. But there is the map in its completion. As you can see, a lot of water to the north. Some of that would have been done by myself, some of that was pre-existing. You can see there's some very dark blue areas. Those are obviously areas where the water's very deep, and that's the natural stuff. And then the stuff to the south of Anatolikos, that was obviously done by me. Some of the stuff to the west, the stuff very far west is obviously natural, as that's dark blue as well. Anatolikos is one of the few things in the map that looks like it's changed. Everything else looks very natural. You can kind of see down here there's a square, that's the squid farm. Obviously just to the top right, not to the top right of the map, but top right of my crosshair, there's some water there, and that's kind of the water areas by the two towers. Well, one tower, the other tower's on the other hill, and below my crosshair you can see a straight line, which is presumably the each road in the sky. But yeah, Anatolikos is definitely the most substantial thing that's different. However, if you look to the right of my crosshair, you can see there's a fairly substantial pool of water. That was obviously done by myself. And then there you can see the kind of the tower build and the village build there as well. But then to the top right of that, there's a substantial piece of rock, and that is where the mining area is, the big dig, because I've not covered it over with grass yet. That could be a project for the near future, who knows, because we do have a lot of dirt, so that's a place to get rid of it. So there's a few things there that kind of stand out. You can kind of make out the two statues to the north. They're just a few pixels. But other than that, not an awful lot. But interesting to have a look at that. I'm glad we managed to do it. The shipwrecks are also there, just up here. So, not bad. We're just going to leave this here. Might try and update it, see if it updates in future versions. But that should be... yeah, that should be these two versions done. I'm happy with it. So the final thing that I want to do this episode is explore the tall grass and some concept that was around in these days. At least I think it was these days. It may be 1.7, or beta 1.7 I should say. But basically, if you bone meal grass, you get grass. If you bone meal just regular grass blocks, you get the tall grass and flowers. So flowers become renewable for the first time in the game. This wasn't actually the original beta 1.6 update, but rather was added in beta like 1.6.5 or 1.6.6 or something like that. But one thing you could do, at least I think you could do it, is you can make a dark room and create an automatic farm. So we're going to try that. This isn't permanent. Well, I want to do a permanent one, but it's not going to go here. It might go here. It might go under the ground. I don't know. But I don't really want to have just a dirt box out in the middle of nowhere. So we'll just build it here. And it has to be fully dark inside. And hopefully this will work. Now, obviously people didn't find out about this immediately. Oh, we're running out of blocks. Yeah, let's use glass. Well, we have enough. We got some slabs. Light doesn't pass through slabs, does it? What's this? What is this? Right, we'll go with that. So it's dark inside, that's fine. No door, no windows. Ah, it does work. Look at that. Spam. Oh. Sometimes you've got to break a piece of grass that doesn't uproot. But as you can see, instant seeds and instant flowers. This is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. This does get patched eventually. And by eventually I mean... well, one of the full release updates, but look at this. This is unbelievable. We'll use all our remaining bone meal and then we'll see how many flowers, how many seeds we get. I don't need seeds, that's the thing. Seeds are like the one thing I don't need. Right. Cool. Let's run around, pick it all up. Oh, look at that. Unbelievable. And we've got enough inventory space for it, surprisingly. So that's how many stacks of yellow flowers? 4 stacks. And 2.5 stacks of, or 2 and 15 of red. That's unbelievable. So yeah, we'll definitely be investing in, well, something that'll get us the same sort of output. Gone are the days when I had to roam around the world picking flowers off the ground. Now we just need to, do that. Anyway, I'm going to end this episode here. It's been fun having a look at some of the changes that 1.6, Beta 1.6 has brought to the game. And I'm not sure if we'll necessarily use any. Well, obviously some will be used, like the shift-clicking crafting mechanism and all that will be used. But in terms of like actual things added, like blocks and all that, not sure if we'll necessarily make use of them in a particularly useful way or an obvious way, but you never know. We'll wait and see. Anyway, thank you, and I will see you later.